Bean. What a name! What a name! Yeah, I'm just playing around with a new OBS and trying to get a nice layout to do some live chats because there's people that actually want me to start doing live builds, especially on the Torrent Beast, because it seems like people are struggling with this little guy to get it built. So I thought it would be a nice platform to actually start going live, maybe once a week, and actually answer some of the questions people ask, especially the Just Fog mini fit as well. Oh my word, you can't believe the amount of questions which I actually get about that little guy, the type of wire which I use, etc. And it's strange. I mean, I post most of the information, I post in as links underneath. But yeah, if you wonder where I get my wire from, I get it from Lightning Vapes and Canada Wire, obviously in Canada as well. So yeah, if you guys have got any questions, there's a few things which I received lately. If you want me to do a review on this little guy, they actually supposed to. This is X-Star's new, brand new. I've never seen a review on this little guy, but yeah, this is a little charger which actually doubles up as a power bank as well. So yeah, you can see you've actually got a Type C input on that side, and then you've got a USB output. So yes, you can charge your batteries, and it is an upgrade from the previous one. Previous one could only take 18650s. This one can go all the way up to 21700s. And I must say, I actually played around with it a bit. But yeah, if you guys are interested, let me know. Sean Kutsia, Zaid is there, so looking good, Mr. Kaiser. Yeah, yes. What can you say? It's week, it's inter schools week, so it is fun times at the school, wearing different colors, etc. Craig says, have some coil building things to send you when I sort stuff out. Mentioned it, yeah, no, Craig, I saw that post here on the UK Vape Show. It'll be interesting to see what you actually, is it specific builds which you want to send me though? Or is it pictures of headaches which you're having? Because I know people are also struggling with the Daedalus. And I was hoping that they actually brought out a new revised version of the jig, but I haven't heard anything from these guys. They're very, very quiet, for sure. Thank you very much. Yeah, loud and clear. I just think there's slow mode on in the chat at the moment, so I must actually just play around with that as well. But yeah, what do you guys think of doing some live builds? And then as I do builds on various atties, you're welcome to actually ask me questions. I mean, I know I've also got this little guy, which I have not reviewed the profile, but there's so many reviews out on the profile, and I mean, not many people are into their mesh. But if you want me to do that, here's another one which I actually received today. It's this little guy. If you guys have enjoyed Flavor and Big Clouds, I just got the small little tank on this guy. This is the Aries 30mm RTA, and you can actually put 3 builds in this little guy. But yeah, I put the smaller tank on. Now you must know what it looks like with a larger tank. But with the large tank, it's got a 10 milliliters capacity. I did post a few photos which I actually took on Facebook now. For those guys who are actually on my Facebook page, you can go and check out what this little guy's deck actually looks like. But it looks a lot like the Blitzen. Some guy also mentioned it, yeah. Postless Blitzen deck. Yeah, no, Craig, you can do that, yeah. But so yeah, what do you guys reckon? Do you think I must do this thing more regularly and actually go live and do some deck builds up on live and answer some questions? Because it's not always possible to respond on YouTube, because as soon as you've got a certain amount of videos, it's actually kind of hard. Yeah, the Aries is not bad. I mean, it's got very nice airflow. But the thing is, if you put triple coils in, you normally in at less than 0.1. And yeah, so you will have to have an a mod which can actually handle that though. And you must be prepared to vapor at 100 watts plus. So mine is currently, I put in a dual build in here. It's currently ohming in at 0.15, which is fairly respectable, and vaping it at 90 watts. But I must say, it's got a decent flavor though. But as soon as you put on the glass to up it to your 10mm option, your chimney increases though in length, and it just slightly reduces the flavor because of that though. But yeah, it's the ugliest drip tips I've seen on a tank, I must say. It's very, very ugly. If you like air, and this guy's for you, absolutely. As I said, you can comfortably vapor, and I can quickly push it up a bit higher there. So you can actually see what it does, how you can actually vape on this thing at, let's go for 120 watts. It can handle it comfortably. Now let's be ambitious and go for a 149 watts and see how it actually goes. Just hope the battery can handle it. Battery's too low. It can't do it, Captain. It does not have the power. Okay, let's put in some new batteries and actually see if the Sony VT6s can actually handle that kind of thing. So yeah, any other comments from anybody? Anything you want to say? How's life treating you guys? Is there something you're looking forward to, which is going to be released soon? Anybody tested the new Blotto RTA from Vaping Fagan yet? SR20 VVL van Sail. Okay. See how this little guy works now. I must say, out of all the batteries which I've actually played around, I must say I enjoy the Sony VT6s the most. Those things work in anything. Regulated, mech. How's that for 150 watts? And it handles it comfortably. Let's put in some nice lime juice. Look at this El Bastardo. The whole thing turns off loose here. The Nord. There's a lot of people that like the Nord, but it frustrates me. Not that it's the people's fault, but the thing is, because we test so many pods, the thing is we get introduced to pods which got better flavor than the Nord. Now, if you're not used to those pods, then you're going to think the Nord's nice. Kijk, nou wil hierdie bliksemse ding nie maar afskroef nie. Die blerry nipple. So yeah, I know the Nord's extremely popular, but I mean, if you've tested this guy, as I said in the last video, this AVP is from Aspire. It's got very good flavor, similar to the Caliburn, and especially because you can build. I'm still waiting on the Jester to actually be released, but it doesn't seem that they gonna release that in South Africa soon now, which is a pity, because I actually contacted them. Now look at this numbnut. To ask them if they can actually send me the Jester, because I want to do a nice comparison video against that Pasito. Because I mean, as I said, this Pasito I just think is lovely, simply because you can rebuild it. Having the standard coils in it, it doesn't impress me that much though, but being rebuildable and you can put some decent Nichrome 80 coils in here, it's awesome stuff. Yeah, no, homegrown. Yeah, it is cold in Cape Town. It is definitely cold. Now the nice thing is, if you guys are tired of this background and this view which you have here, we're busy building a nice little extra room onto the house, and then I am going to move in there, so you will be able to maybe see my mods and my juices and my stuff. You will be able to see that then. Okay, wait, let's get this thing. Strip this old numbnut quickly. So yeah, that's another up and up. Boesman 26 Naan sê, join jy vape en syp môre? Ja meneer, ek sal daar sou wees. I will be there, and I have been working on a new recipe which I called Klippies. Now in South Africa, for those people internationals, there is a nice traditional juice here in South Africa called the Brandewyn and Coke. So yeah, and I've just thought by myself just to make one of those little guys. Okay, let's just quickly make a plan here and get this whole numbnut loose without actually scratching it. Take this little clothy, get you nicely secured over there. Yeah, that as I said, that I would really like that Blotto RTA, simply because this guy, if you look at the video which I actually did on the Tauron 1 RTA, and if you look at the deck on the Tauron 1, it is very much the same as what the Blotto RTA is. The only difference being that the Blotto has got slits at the bottom instead of holes, and they can I say, these pillars along the sides have actually got that larger amount of airflow holes which is in there. But otherwise, those decks are very similar. So I assume the vape's going to be very similar as well. So yeah. This little Aspire thing, I have not seen a vendor in South Africa which actually sells this. Now, the first one which they actually sent me for review, I dropped, and then I broke the mod. So I actually was so impressed, and that actually tells you how impressed this is. And then I went to vapedeal.com, where I actually ordered this car for myself again. So the up and up is obviously because I have had the other one, I've still got more cartridges now. So yeah, but the flavor on this thing is very good. And it actually feels nice, and it looks quality, etc. But I mean, that's what Aspire's products is. Aspire they do not bring out badly manufactured goods. Their stuff all look very nice. Here, this Aries is giving me a headache now, just to remove this top section, believe it or not. Okay, let's try something else. So yeah, anywho, what is nog? I always hear you say micro and nano coils. What's the difference between the two? Nano coils is your traditional, if you've got basically if you've got your 28s, normally if you've got 28 gauge wires, and you going to say Clapton it or you alien it with 38 gauge, 40 gauge or 42 gauge, then they refer to them as nanos. But when I actually built on the Pasita, I actually had a guy make these for me. And these, believe it or not, how thin they ever look, these guys are alien wires. And I mean, these alien wires are 32 gauge, and it's dual alien wires. I know it's going to be very hard for you to see, but this is just to show you how thin this actually is. So it's 32 gauge with 40 gauge around it. So I mean, now I call that micro aliens. So I know it's just a phrase which I just came up with. Whether it exists or don't exist, I've got no idea. But for me, it's smaller than nanos. So I hope that actually answers your question. The price range of the Aspire is not that expensive. When you bring it in from overseas, unfortunately, as I said, you have to pay shipping. But the nice thing about that vapedeal.com is they've got $24 for DHL shipping, and you still receive a package within 5-6 days maximum. So that's cool. So I just ordered a few things with that to bring it in, and then it actually came in at around 380 Rand, which is a very good deal for that. Charles Bonko, what's good, boss man? Now I'm enjoying life. Nets e-liquid is it popular over in South Africa? I've never heard of them, Craig. Never heard. So yeah. How did you get your hands on an Impi if Survape is the only stockist? Ismail, I'm in contact with Hardis on Facebook. He's one of my friends, and because he knows I'm a reviewer, and I normally do my stuff thoroughly and I'm honest in my opinion, he offered to send me one. But that's also months ago. That's even while the thing was still in production. And he asked me whether I was interested in actually reviewing it, and I told him, yeah, for sure. It would be a privilege to actually review it. And I mean, it's a great quality RDA, make no mistake. Any tips on making your own juice? Yeah, Rednax, what tips are you looking for? Get yourself a scale. Get yourself some flavorings. There's a few flavorings over there. There's a few flavorings. Okay, I must just get this guy to stand upright again. Yeah, and your flavorings, your nicotine, your VG, your PG, and then go onto the websites. Go and find out what is decent recipes. I mean, the guys post an humongous amount of recipes, and they normally rate and comment at those recipes. So you just find yourself a profile which you enjoy, and then just type in strawberry slushy e-juice recipe, and then go and visit those websites and just go and have a look. And I would recommend you to start that specific way, because those guys normally have already refined or narrow down the nice strawberries, the nice pineapples, the nice creams, etc., so that you didn't have to go through the schlep which I had to go through and buy an humongous amount of stuff to actually start playing around with. So I've got an enormous amount of concentrates which suck ass balls, which I don't like, but that's the way it works. Shiraz, I want to get the Blotto, but I am banned from Survape. I'm not allowed to purchase anything from them, and that's a long story of themselves. So I'll actually have to wait for another vendor to bring in the blotter before I can actually purchase it and do a decent review on that little guy. But yeah, I mean, if the Tauren 1 RTA gives you good flavor and it's got a similar deck, then I'm sure the blotter is also going to give you good flavor. It should be no exception to that though. Nick Salt vape you can buy. Best Nick Salt vape. Yes, like it. I'm not much into my Nick Salts, but I mean something which I often use a lot is this little company. It's called Platinum, and I mean, because I feel the whole purpose of pods is for somebody to transition. So I think tobacco vapes is probably best in pod systems. And the Platinum brings out a nice one called 5 Leaves. But yeah, also high nick, so that is what I normally throw in my pods in any case when I want to test them, to play around with them. Kane says, I love micro Claptons on my... Yeah, no, micro Claptons are great for MTL devices. I totally agree with you. They're brilliant. I just want to stop playing around and see if I can make micro frame staples. Because those are my top two builds, is Aliens and Frame Staples. Let's see if this guy's going to work. I doubt it. This guy can't even go around us. It sucks. Naturally extracted tobacco e-liquid. Take a look at Les Picken Juice Cabin. I've also not heard of them locally though. But I know that if you guys are into some CBD action, locally TKO. These guys, they are releasing a CBD. I think the juice is called Rise. So yeah, there's something for you to look at. Obviously, there's no active ingredient in there, which is THC for those cannabis know-hows out there. But yeah, no, it's still there. Do you still your diodless? I do use my diodless, but I only use my diodless when I want to make some quick Claptons or multi-core Claptons, or frame staples. But otherwise, when I do my aliens, I just go with freehand. I do use the drill portion, yeah, but I just use beads, my own beads, which I actually have. These guys. Look at all these coils. There is so much bagage in here. See here, this guy's still mounted with a 38 gauge. But yeah, no, I do. I just can't find the little pack with my beads inside. But yeah, I've mostly freehand my aliens. It's difficult with the diodless to actually make aliens. Can you show me how to build those on diodless? Yeah, I've got a lot of videos out. What's it, Chucky first? Chucky, are you naughty? Are you a bad kid, bad person? Was your name Chuck? But yeah, just go and check out my videos. I've done videos on the diodless builds, which the diodless is capable of. It can only do so much though. But otherwise, most of your more complex builds, if you're into your Instagram photos and those coil building competitions, then I wouldn't suggest you to use the diodless. There you go. There you go. At long last, this numbnut is off. Put that assembly in the freezer for 15 minutes. No, it's fine. The thing is, I just tightened it too much. The problem with this Aries is they have got these silicone O-rings, and silicone O-rings are inclined to suck onto stuff more, to make it more harder to release than what your rubber O-rings is. So yeah, I must prefer my rubbers, if you know what I mean. Alright, any other questions? What have you got there? There is all the way from Mexico. Mojitos juice. Rednecks, because I do it yourself, and as I said, I've got a son at university which studies medicine. So there's a lot of our cash which actually goes into that, because political reasons, he does not get a bursary or stuff like that though. So unfortunately, money goes into that, and we're busy building over here. So I have to save up. That's why my reviews are not that often now, because of that kind of thing. But So if I buy a juice, it has to be really good. So most of the times, if people want to introduce me to new juices, then they can actually send me the juice. And and I know juice reviews suck. There's a lot of people, majority of people don't like juice reviews, and I don't blame them. Make no mistake. But the thing is, if I say a juice is nice, like this juice, I really like this juice. I actually bought this the other day, for sure. And and then I also tell you I like this juice. So you as a viewer, try those juices and you find them nice. Then it's easier, because then you will start believing me. But you still don't get that crowd, which is going to justify making a juice review. Because juice reviews are boring. Let's face it, they are boring. So no, I haven't tried it though. But if you know something good, tell them to send it along. And if it's awesome, I will use it in one of the bulls. I will show it up here and go about it for sure. Hey Kaiser, when we going to see the new studio? Well, they built the walls, they put on the roofing, they they put in the electrical. So yeah, it shouldn't be. I would reckon about 3 weeks, 3 weeks still, because I mean it's still plastering, and then they must pave, and then there's a braai being added on, the outside braai. So yeah, when then I can start moving in there and hopefully put up a green screen and put some nice dolphins swimming in the background or something like that, or a nice Miss Wet t-shirt competition running in the background. You never know, because in any case I've got nothing more to lose, because all vape videos have been demonetized. So might as well play around, put a nice Metallica concert in the background or things like that. um, uh, Chucky, you explain things so well, and for that I thank you. No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, but I think it's because I'm a teacher, a high school teacher, and you get to have all sorts of learners in front of you. And there's learners which are half deaf, there's learners half blind, there's dyslexic learners, there's learners who's got ADHD, and there's obsessive compulsive disorders in certain learners. So you start adapting a method of trying to speak nice and thoroughly, to cater for all of them. So yeah. What is there more? Is there an RDTA you can recommend for flavor and wicking? I'm not very much into my RDTAs. When I started out vaping, what is the thing? I almost say Genesis, but that's probably the only time I had an RDTA. But that was about 2.5, 3 years ago. I don't really enjoy RDTAs. I'm hugely into my RDAs. Was usually hugely, and I still got great. I mean, I even cleaned out this little beauty this afternoon. But I've got things like this, the Hadley and the Citadels and the Flaves and stuff like that. And then when you get to your 24mm RDAs, funnily enough, I prefer my bottom airflow RDAs. I've tried so many, and I have to say, even though how much respect I have for the Goon, I still think my Reload RDAs and my Tokugawa RDAs, those guys with the airflow at the bottom, are still the best. But they are all here. And then when I did the review on this bugger, this Tauren, I just love it. It just befriended my palate and my style from the start. So yeah, no matter what I test, I always just go back to this. But I think it's because it's got the perfect airflow and the perfect distance, and for the amount of flavor with this guy produced is great for me though. But I know there's people that don't like this, and there's people that love it. So, do you sell your juice? Well, I mean, I've got this one which is currently released. That's what this looks like. It's called Fruity. Because I don't advertise, and I go by word of mouth, I've only been to about 4 vendors, out of which 3 of those vendors actually ordered the juice. And that was about 2 months ago. So now I had my first reorder again in a larger quantity. So slowly but surely, these things are taking off. But as I say, this guy is going to be my next one, which is a brandy and coke. This guy. And it's got a bit of bourbon in there as well. So that's lekker. Lekker op 5 plekke. The builds which I enjoy the most is normally around the range. If it's a single coil build, then anything between 0.2 and 0.26. That's what I like there. If it's dual coil build, then 0.12 to 0.16, around there. That's what I like. And then I enjoy my vaping at around 60 to 70 watts. That's why I like it though. But not huge amount of airflow as well. That's why I say this guy's got airflow wide opens, the perfect amount of airflow which I like, which I enjoy. Redneck's the only reason why I say an RDA is better than an RDTA is an RDTA is very finicky. And the thing is, because your juice chamber is normally at the bottom, and your wicks actually lie from the top into that, it relies a lot on the tilt in that to actually juice it up, to get your cotton saturated. So yeah, I just don't like that effort. I think it's very much simpler, and your RDAs normally have got a closer distance from the mouthpiece to there where the coils is, that everything is just close by, and poops, you get more flavor from that though. So yeah, but I would rather go for an RTA above an RDTA, me personally. I enjoy that more. Alex Brown says, hola from Costa Rica. Great to see you. I'm really liking the lime vape now. Thanks for turning me onto it. Yeah, the lime's great. And there's a company in South Africa called Vapology, I think. And Vapology has brought out 4 different, if you enjoy lime. But yeah, it's a pity you won't be able to get it. But they're bringing out a lime slushy. And it's a total different lime than this lime or my lime, which I make, or even the most of the limes which I've tasted. It's a different lime, but it's extremely nice. So it's the new lime slushy from Vapology. So you can go and, if you're locally, go and try that out there. Currently, Mitch, there's not many. High Midnight, also from the UK, I see. Awesome stuff. One of the days, me and my family hopefully will get out of here when my son finishes his medicine and becomes rich and can pull us all out. We might make a 10 in the UK. But vaping regulations in South Africa currently not. They're barking here and they're barking there, but the biting has not started yet. But yeah, I mean, Facebook has seriously clamped down a bit though. They're becoming stricter on what you can post and what you cannot post, and how certain web groups, the names which you must have. But the legislation in South Africa now, currently we've still got fairly free reins going on about that. Have you tried the Vupu? You know, the only Vupu product I've ever tried, and if you go through my 235 or 236 videos which I've made, is only the Vupu Mar tank. That's the only thing. The thing is, because Vupu has not contacted me to actually send me anything else besides the Mar tank, I don't like the shapes. My personal preferences, I don't like the shapes of the Vupu products, the mods especially. So I won't go and buy one for myself, definitely not. I'm more in my more simplistic stuff. I've still got this little guy, which I really enjoy. I enjoy this guy more than I actually enjoyed the Dual topside. My Dual topside I actually sold within a week. And then there's this guy, which I also really like. And I actually got the old door from the previous version, and actually put it on, because this Ultim door was extremely irritating. But this metal door actually works extremely well, and I think it looks cool. It looks nice with that. So yeah, there's still a lot of mods which I like. So you can see I actually like simplicity. All these things with the big screens and the LED lights and the fans coming to cool down your balls while you're vaping. That's gimmicky stuff now. I'm not into those things. Do you sell your juice in Cape Town? Because I live in Durbanville and I really want your juice. Yeah, you can go to Juicy Joe's. Juicy Joe's is the vendor locally in Cape Town area, which stocks my juice. And then soon to be, in a few weeks, month maybe, Brothers Vape Lounge. Yeah, also in Durbanville. They will also be stocking it there. So they say. So we'll still see if that actually happens there. Metallica sal een groot bring dan lol waantoe. Kaiser, did you smoke before vaping? Yeah, Rednecks I actually did. I smoked Camel Filter for 23 years. And yeah, it's not your lightest cigarette which you actually have there. But the fortunate thing is, as I've actually noticed that when you get smoking, that's just my personal opinion, you get 2 types of smokers. You get smokers which are nicotine dependent and smokers which are habit dependent. Now, you only will know that when you try to quit. Now, because most people tell you nicotine's addictive, you start telling that to yourself. But I was one of those lucky ones which was subliminally habit addictive. So I mean, when I still did diving, and I took out crayfish and abalone when it was still actually allowed, or just in general scubaing, I always had the habit of lighting a smoke. After I've eaten, always had a habit of lighting a smoke. But as I said, when I started vaping, I could put down that packet of Camel down, and I've not smoked since. So that's probably what, 3.5 years. I'm not sure, but that's from 23 years of Camel filter, and I was smoking a pack a day. And obviously, when you go out and go and do some drinking, or you're at some festival or whatever, then it can run to 2 packets a day. So yeah. And then obviously there's the occasional gulwas, which you go for. There's just a bit of strongness, or gitans. I don't even know if they still sell those smokes. But yeah, now I was definitely a smoker, heavy smoker. But the thing is, the biggest reason why I actually wanted to stop smoking, the 2 biggest reasons is, number one, it bothered my daughter a lot. So she was a huge factor. And the second thing, believe it or not, it wasn't my health. I was fine. I think it's because I was swimming so long. I mean, I did life saving for 5 years. I did swimming for 7 years. And then after school as well. At university, I did a lot of diving. So I had huge capacity lungs, and I think that helped me a lot. But the second factor which I would recommend somebody to stop smoking is the smell. You don't realize when you smoke how much you stink, and how that smoke actually gets absorbed into fabrics. Even if you're in the car and you've got material seats, your carpentry, you don't realize it until you stop, and then you start smelling the crap. And it doesn't take that long. It takes about 3 weeks after you stop smoking for your senses, for your ciliums to because what you do is when you smoke, you paralyze them. And when you paralyze them, your olfactory cells don't work that well. And that's why your smell actually reduces for any smoker. That's basically how it works. Hi there from Brazil. There's Rodrigo 207. Welcome, you guys. I didn't expect so many people to actually pop in here. That's very nice, because as I said, this is supposed to be a tester, and actually just to find out whether you guys would want me to do builds on various RTAs live. And then you can, what's nice about that is there might be people or reviewers or experienced owners of these things which also did builds, and then they can also add recommendations. I'm not one of those guys who would say that my way is the right way. Absolutely not. See, the input which you guys give is for me just as valuable as what I am experiencing currently doing a build. Absolutely. I'm not one of those that's the line and everything that side's wrong and everything this side's got to be right. It's crap. Benson Edge is gold from the age of 13. Craig, oh my word, you started young. I mean, I never smoked at school, not at all. I obviously tried back in the yard in the caravan, and you cough your lungs out and you never try it again. So I only had one experience at school, but then I left it. When I started smoking was when I did my military service, especially my second year. First year, obviously, you kept busy with your basics, and I also did jails, junior leaders, to become a lieutenant. So you've got various courses and exams, and you've got practicals, and you've got different stuff that you do. But your second year is a lot more chilled. And I was in a place where I actually got bored in the evenings, and then I started smoking. So yeah, and from there on it snowballed for 23 years. So yes, does your health feel better now that you started vaping? Definitely, definitely. Especially, as I said, I never had a coughing problem. Never had a coughing issue, wheeziness in the chest, that type of bronchitis situation. But when it comes to senses, when it comes to smell, when it comes to that feeling of you're feeling a bit more lively, put it that way, a bit more awake, that for sure. Because I've had the drowsiness about me when I smoked, which was weird. So yeah, you're definitely better off leaving that crap. I quit the butts easily when I began vaping. I'm 70, started vaping 5 years ago. Yeah, no, Alex, it's true. As I said, but I think it's very harder when you're a nicotine dependent guy to actually stop. But it is very possible. My father-in-law smoked blue Stuyvesant I assume it's also International Cigarette. And he never thought he would be able to quit. And then I still remember I gave him a smock stick, one of those all-in-one little devices, a little fat stubby one. And I just put in a nice juice, and I put it at a low wattage so that he doesn't get frightened, because that's the thing which people forget. When you meet somebody that actually wants to try vaping, don't give it to that person at the wattages which you vape, or the amount of nicotine which you vape. Put it at a lower wattage. Give the guy a smoother experience, because I noticed that these smokers, they cough their lungs out when they try to vape what I vape at the wattage which I vape, and then it's not for them. So yeah, take it easy. Let them experience that flavor, that nice cheesecake or vanilla ice cream which you're enjoying, or whatever you're enjoying. And that's what I did with my father-in-law. And he likes mint, so I made a nice do-it-yourself for him that tastes like this big blue, those white peppermints, those mint imperials, and he loved it. And he quit smoking totally. And he's at the point where he actually quit vaping as well. But I enjoy vaping. I enjoy the hobby of vaping, and I enjoy testing flavors and experiencing the flavors. I love the flavors. That's awesome. You need to get on TP. I know they're welcome to ask me, but the things, those guys are such a tight clique. They normally get in UK reviewers, or I think they're going to US reviewers as well now. I'm too small fry for those guys, man. I'm just a Cape Townian local boerseun hier so onder in die Kaap, wat lou van my biltong en my droewors en my brandewyn en coke. So yeah, I'm just quickly going to show you international guys what is droewors. Just hold on there, because that's a luxury which you guys don't know. This is droewors. Now I just want to show you take out a little piece here. Piece of this numminess. That, I think the closest you guys come to this numminess is beef jerky. Beef jerky is, it sucks in relation to this. This is good nom. This is nom that. That and biltong. Guys must try it. Just go into the internet and see how you actually make biltong. Go down to your supermarket, get yourself a nice piece of steak. Nice fillet steak, because it's nice and soft. And then you spice it with a recipe which they would provide, and just hang it up for it to dry. Nice dry area with some nice wind, and Bob's your uncle. It dehydrates, loses all its water. You'll probably have a third of what you hung up there left. If you put a 300 gram, you're going to have a 100 gram piece of biltong. But then taste that biltong. Shoo! You'll never turn back. There's Rufus, also from the UK. There's a lot of you guys that are from the UK. Hey, it's Texas. Lekker man. Ben Vapes all the way from Germany. Craig Marshall, peer pressure mate. Thought TVP is a semi-retired from vaping reviews. I enjoy TVP. I enjoy the guy's accent. I enjoy the way he actually reviews. All those guys which are on the UK show, basically, I enjoy watching those. So. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of South African reviewers. The guys start out, but then they don't get the views, or they don't get the subscriptions, and then they quit. They don't understand it takes a long time now. I mean, here I am, 235 videos later. I know if I had a pair of boobs, I would have easily been around the 50k mark. But now you've got this ugly fat bugger doing reviews for you, and I think it's because I do it so nice and thoroughly is how I actually gained my 5,200, which I currently have, which is not a lot for the international guys, but for a local guy, that's a lot of subscribers. And yeah, I'm extremely proud of it though. The building calls, as long as you guys learn out of it, Alex, then I'm happy. That's the whole point of building those calls. Because I mean, you can pay here in South Africa, you probably pay around anything between 120 rand to say 180 rand for a pair of beautiful aliens. And if you get your way and you get to make your aliens, it can actually cost you around 30 rand, I would say, to make your own aliens. So that's a huge saving. And Aliens is definitely not the alpha and the omega. I mean, I've got some nice quad core Claptons which I received from Thunderhead Creations, and they vape very nicely as well. So yeah, you don't need aliens. Boer en Boetse en Durbanville se biltong is baie lekker. Ja, daar's 'n klomp jong. Hierdie rednecks, the drovers which I've got here comes from Joey's. I really like Joey's drovers. Very nice. I just think the meat, type of meat which he uses, and the fat ratio, and his spices are not that, can I say, not that pungent. It's not got these strong, weird flavors. It's just a nice, subtle type of spice mix which he uses. Vaping Fox, there's a lot of stuff which I actually flavors which I enjoy, but I found that recently I enjoy my fruits. Fruits is the only thing, the only profile which I can vape permanently. And as I said, this is my own. This is the fruit tea which I actually sell, and then this is the one which I actually make for myself. I just add a bit more. I just put on this little label, but I make it in 100 milliliters for myself. But this I can vape the whole day. That, but so fruits, desserts is fine occasionally. I mean, I've got some desserts over here, strawberry milkshakes and whatnot, bubble gums and stuff. But I mean, every once in a few days, I might feel like a tank for a dessert, and then I enjoy that though. But it's not something I can vape all day. So my profile is fruits, burstless. Thanks, Rufus. I appreciate it. There's another Kaiser Soze. People wonder where my name comes from, so let's just quickly clear that out. If you wonder where Kaiser comes from, I was an online gamer back in the day, and I played a Half-Life mod called Day of Defeat. Now, most people know Counter-Strike, but Day of Defeat is a lesser-known World War II first-person shooter type of situation, with the Allies against the Axis. But that's why I played. And I watched the movie The Usual Suspects many years ago, and the baddie in there was played by Kevin Spacey, and he played Kaiser Soze. I think it's how you pronounce it, Kaiser Soze. But then I really liked the name, but I didn't just want to copy that name. I just changed it to Kaiser Soze. And then the name was too long for the people, because I got into a clan. I was a sniper in the clan. And they just didn't want to say Kaiser Soze the whole time. So they just started calling me Kaiser. And then when I started playing internationally against international teams, then they started calling me Kazor. So I just decided, oh, what the hell? Cut out all the rest of the letters and just stay with Kaiser. So now that's where it still is. So yeah, now Benjamin also knows where Kaiser comes from. I'm from the UK. I regard you as one of the best and entertaining reviewers I subscribe to. Oh, thank you very much. I must say I'm not that very entertaining, but I I just try to be straight. I just try to be honest. And if it hurts people's feelings, I'm sorry about that. But you must understand, and I'm sure you guys understand, that what I like is not maybe something somebody else might like. So it is all in all, and I mean many reviewers say that it is just an opinion. It's you can still go and try out. Before I buy something, I probably watch 5-6 reviews of it, and then I go and read written reviews of this thing, and then I go and look at close-up photos of this thing, and then decide for myself, listen, alright, this deck has got a great chance to actually produce this, or this mod, dual battery. I enjoy my dual battery mods, for sure. But because, I mean, when I go out, that I want something with battery life, because I vape a lot. Make no mistake, I vape a lot. I'm not one guy that takes a toot every 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I probably vape around 30 milliliters a day, I would say. Comfortably, 30 milliliters a day. I mean, yeah, 30 mils a day. So yeah, that's why I like my dual battery mods. And I must say, I'm still extremely impressed with this little guy. If you don't know what this is, I actually got myself a second one. There it is. And it's an old mod. You don't find it often anymore. It's a Dufpo V. But it's just so convenient. So small and compact. And this one is the upgraded version, which actually shows you the battery indication. And you can put this guy in wattage mode, but I enjoy this voltage mode a lot of this guy. And you've got an on-off switch over there. There's no 5 clicks over there, nothing. Just on-off switch, and there you go. You vape away. Hey, Schmuckadesh. Clippies, I tell you. Brandy and cola. It's going to be the next one. How often do you build your own coils? More often now. There was about probably a period of 3 months which I didn't build a lot of coils because people actually sent me coils to build. And then some company promised me that they want to sponsor my channel, which I've got no problem with. I would actually like that because I feel that using the same coil the whole time, getting used to a coil which you enjoy, and then using that coil in every build which you do, which is obviously relevant to that specific build. Obviously, you're not going to put in aliens and then MTL the same way which you're going to put in a RTA with more airflow. But never heard from those guys again. Promises, and you can't believe how many people have promised me things and you just don't hear from them again, which I don't mind, as I said, because I can do my own building. And the thing is, but the point is, never promise something to somebody which you cannot deliver. Is it that hard? Don't get people excited about something if you're never planning on actually following through with your promise. That's all I'm saying. I've actually got a very nice coffee juice here, Kenneth. Very nice one. I'm not sure if you're a patron, but I'll post most of my juices. I will post there, and I think my coffee juice is there. I've even got a Dom Pedro juice, which is also very nice, which I posted there as well. Yeah, and I've got my phone handy. There's my phone. Why did you send me something? There's just a few Ambitions Vapors here. Batman, I must say I recently subscribed to Batman. I also enjoy his... Hey, there's Craig Marshall. Let's see what Craig Marshall sent us. Hey, look at that little device. Yeah, can I show it to them, Craig, or not? You must tell me if I can show it to them. But it's a little coil building device. It's very similar. I'll quickly show you the other one. It's very similar to that little guy, which is over there. And there you can also see this is the swivels which I actually use on this little device. Now this is a coil jig which a local guy actually made, and I use that when I want to do my freehand aliens. But yeah, this guy's actually nice. But yeah, there's the photo which I actually sent. I'm not sure how well you can actually see it there. But let's quickly push this line out. It's not going to make a difference. But yeah, it's a little cute little coil jig. Maybe you can see it better. It's a bigger one. But these things are very, very handy. Very handy. Yeah, they work well. I'm still having fun with this one. It works good as gold. Good as gold. What are they? Do you still vape the Pulse Dual? No, don't vape the thing. Evening to you in the group. Tiens from Johannesburg. Hi Tiens. Tiens is one of my patrons. There you go. Lekker man, lekker lappies. Do you need a coil building kit to make your coils? No. You can get a nice little vice grip. You can get some swivels. You can get most people have got a drill around the house. And if you've got those things, you've basically got what you need to start making your simple coils like your Claptons. So no, you don't especially need a jig to actually go out to go and make your own coils though. Do vape reviewers get paid from companies for reviewing their products? Sarash, I'm not sure, because I mean I've been asked by probably 3 companies if they can send me stuff, and then they ask me how much I actually want, then I say no, it's for free. So, but obviously there are reviewers which get paid, but I don't want to get paid by a company, because I feel that is going to affect, in some way going to affect my judgment of something. So when I don't get paid for anything, I've got absolutely nothing to lose and to feel bad about being honest though. So in my case, not at all. I don't get anything from YouTube as well, demonetizing all kind of crap. But even before they demonetized, I think you have to get to $100 before you can actually make something. And to get to that, you need at least 10,000 subscribers and have to post a video once every 2 days at least. But I never got to that specific mark, never. So I just solely rely on my patrons, and now the bit of the juice which I sell. Yeah, it's also Rodrigo said, you need a drill and a swivel to make your own calls. You need nothing fancy. Craig, I'll check my Facebook now, yeah. Okay, Ben says, you're entertaining. I remember laughing at Lewis for minutes in the review where your dog farted. Pure comedy. The dog farts a lot. I can bring him more often if you enjoy it, though. Yeah? But I've got a Labrador, and these things, they enjoy farting. I've got 2 Labradors and a Jack Russell. They enjoy farting. Profile Unity. Yeah, I've got the Unity, but I showed them just now. There's it. It is on my Manto S. You're talking about this guy. I received it, but I haven't reviewed it. So the only reason why I haven't reviewed it is because there's so many reviews out there, and as I said earlier, I enjoy my airflow from the bottom though. And if you build this mesh, having the side heat airflow, it's got nice flavor. But it's just to get the separate little mesh pieces, the amount of cotton which you actually use, the amount of juice which this thing actually takes, it's not worth the while. And then I'd rather stick with my Torin though. But I mean, for somebody which enjoys mesh, I think it's a nice RTA, definitely. It's like I smoked a pack a day now, vape 10 to 15 mils a day. My wife says smoking was cheaper, and smoking is cheaper if can I say, if you don't do it yourself, then smoking is cheaper. If you go out and buy juices, and that's what I can't understand. I mean, in South Africa, a decent juice you can pick up, say, average for 160 or 180 rand, which is a lot of money. And I mean, as I said, for me, vaping 30 mils a day, which means that in 3 days, just on my juice alone, that's not even my coils, that's not even my cotton, that's not even seeing a new mod which I like. It's going to be way too expensive as a vapor. So going to do it yourself, building my own coils, saves a lot of money. But yeah, of course it can be more expensive than smoking. Batman is one of the best. Yeah, I like Batman. I like Batman because he's also nice and straightforward. Absolutely. And I mean, I actually feel bad for the amount of medical problems the guy's actually currently going through. I enjoy him a lot. Yeah, Midnight. The V is a super mod. I mean, it's not the best looking mod, but this Dufpo V, this thing just does not fail me. It's the same with this Manto S, which people laugh at. This little thing. It can be cheaper, but at least this thing always starts up. It does not give you resistance jumps. It picks up any atomizer which I've put on the thing. It just works. Whereas some of my more expensive mods has actually failed me, and that's sad. So yeah, I'd rather go for something which is comfortable, nice and cheap. I'm not too much worried about appearances anymore. Having the most fancy stuff. I mean, this is the thing. But my wife spoiled me for Father's Day, getting me this little guy. But I still prefer using this above this, believe it or not. Nice and simple. I'm a plain guy, man. I'm a platlander, so I've got no problems. Yeah, Craig, it looks good. I'd actually like to see a video of what you make if you test it, just to see how it actually swivels and holds out to the amount of tension which you actually put on your wires. The Avocado RT, yeah, but that's the one, the RDTA Rednax. That's one of those RDTAs which I started out with. The Avocado is an old one. Yeah, no, I had that guy. Craig, you're talking about Metallica now. I'd probably DJed since I was 17 years old. In the beginning of this year, I actually quit DJing. I gave the equipment and the music over to my son, and the lighting and all that kind of stuff. So he can actually start making some money for him to spend as a student. But one of the best functions I ever DJed for was a couple that from 12 o'clock the night, when all the old people left, for an hour and a half, I only played AC/DC music. Now I think I've got 23 of their albums, AC/DC, so I've got a lot of their music. And these guys were AC/DC fans. And when I asked them why did they want to listen to so much AC/DC, and then they said that it's because him and his wife, for their honeymoon, I think they said they're going to Australia, where AC/DC would have had their last concert live. But I mean, it was so nice to actually, in that night when all the guys had a couple of brewskis in there, and the ales were starting to run through the blood and going to the brain, making them very enjoyable to watch. It was nice to listen to that type of music. And obviously, I pushed a nice little Black Sabbath Paranoid in there as well, and a nice Metallica in there as well. So it was nice listening to that kind of hard rock for a change. It was lekker. Yes, Jose, hi there, all the way from Spain. That's nice. That's nice. What's the best flavor you've had? It depends on your profile, which you actually have. But I mean, there is very good. I can tell you what's the nicest guava which I've had. I can tell you what's the nicest pineapple which I had. You understand? But to single out a specific flavor. But I mean, the flavor which, as I said, which I vape the most has to be this fruit tea of mine, because it's so nice and fresh, and it's a peach and apricot iced tea, which is something which you don't get tired of, me, which I don't get tired of. So I really enjoy this. But I've got a very nice pineapple. I've got a nice mango as well. So, but this thing, I just really like it a lot. Not because it's mine. I actually stumbled across it. I was trying to make something else, and I added an ingredient which I can't say here, because then I'm giving it away. And when I added that, oh my word, I came across this. So yeah, it was actually by mistake, and now I enjoy it a lot. Why did I ever see you with a mech? I've only got two mechs, but I must say the mechs, I mean, it's the one which Thunderhead Creations actually sent me, and then the only other mech which I actually have, that's we're talking about mech tubes, because I've got other mech mods as well. Is this one which a South African has made, which is called the Shemus. But the problem I find with these mechs is the battery life sucks. So yeah, it's nice to have this thing in your hand, which, as I say, which you actually have control over, or put it that way, you actually don't have control over it because it's not regulated. But it's nice. It's just the battery life that sucks. I've got a couple of Rio mech mods as well. 3D printed mods I've actually got, which are mech mods. But yeah, I prefer my regulated mods. Let's be honest about that. So it's nice having them in the collection, but I prefer my regulateds. How are you? I got the Tauren 1 RTA. Keep shorting out. That's strange. No, I don't have that issue with mine. Mine runs like a dream. Mine works lekker op 5 plekke. You just quickly get in that crap little batteries which I took out just now. Where did I put them? There it is. No, I haven't had any issues with my one, I've got to say. Wat is daar nog? Well, the mod I've been most disappointed with is probably the Anita Squonker. There's my... This guy's not gives me no issues. The Tauren one is nice. It's a nice single coil. It's not nicer than the Tauren Beast, but it's because the Tauren Beast is dual. Obviously with dual you're going to get more flavor. But I mean, for a single coil, this is a very nice option. This number one. ACD are meant to be coming back. Love the band. Yeah, no, they've got great music. Guys, check at the corner of your purse in the Tauren single RTA. The corners are touching inside the barrel. One keeps shorting out. Did you perfect the chocolate e-juice yet? I've got a recipe, which I call mousse, but it's still not Cadbury's chocolate. It's still not Toblerone chocolate. It is a milky chocolate, and it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that chocolate flavor, which you get the bar. I don't get that there. But it's also something which I don't vape the whole time. Occasionally I enjoy it though, and I make myself my coffee vape, or I make my chocolate vape, or I make my blueberry slushy vape, or whatever. Are you thinking about doing an RDA? Well, if I can get a company that works with me, I've actually got it designed. I've got my RDA, and I have not seen a deck which looks like that. I think it should have very nice flavor because the flavor is actually angled from the bottom and directly underneath the coils. But I mean, yeah, I think it's interesting. So maybe I will talk to Ken from Thunderhead Creations because I think currently they're the company that I speak to the most on Skype though, and may you never know. So hopefully I've even got a name for the thing. So yeah, I want to call it the Oryx RDA. The Oryx. The Oryx is a buck in South Africa, in Namibia as well. Longhorns. But I think the Oryx RDA is a very nice one. But yeah, 22mm, be able to drip or squonk on that thing. If you squonk, impossible to over squonk because you're going to squonk onto a breach at the bottom. So yeah, that's just a couple of ideas which I actually have. Building on it is also going to be very simple. You're just going to pull your legs apart, drop it down and release, and your legs are automatically going to go into. That's the ideas which I actually have. But if it's going to become something realistic, or I don't know. I'll find somebody that actually wants to work with me. But as I said, I'm too small time, and those guys are gonna laugh at me. How many batteries do you own? Probably just 12. I run them through rotation the whole time. 12. I showed earlier when there was not a lot of people watching that you guys must actually check out this new little charger power bank. It is a fast charging little guy. Now I've currently got 21 700s inside here. There they are. Or 2700s I mean. And when I charge my phone from 50% to 100%, it actually only drops 20% of this power bank. So you can actually charge your phone, I would say, twice completely using this little guy. And in itself, it actually charges very quickly with a Type-C charging port. But unfortunately, it hasn't got a Type-C out. It's only got a USB out. But interesting little option. Nice portable option from X-Star. Seeing that X-Star actually brings out very good chargers. I currently use a X-Star 4 battery charger in any case. I watch your video. Mine has marks inside the barrel where the corners of the post screws. No, I actually don't. Your post screws, isn't your legs, your coil which you build, isn't it too thick then? Try and make yours thinner. That's why the coils I always prefer to use, is always 28s. The thickness of a 28, and then added with the 38 or 40 gauge or 42 gauge on the outside. And then your coil legs are normally thin, which means you can actually get your grub screws in deeper, especially if they mount in from the sides, and then they should not touch your barrel. Now what has happened a few times with me though is, even though the grub screw is going deep enough, that you never mistake your coil legs. That's why my coil legs I try to cut as close, and then oftentimes I bend my coil legs so that it lies against against my posts, that it's further away from the barrel which actually fits over. So that those coil legs as well can actually cause issues in some atomizers. Never had a problem with my Torin. Me neither. Every time which I that's why I want to go live, because the first build which I actually want to do live is this guy, because there are people which like the Torin, but what puts them off is the fact that they leak with this thing. I've even removed my airflow control ring at the bottom because I find it pointless if any guy's going to vape it wide open. So yeah, mine's off, but it just doesn't leak. I don't understand. And while if you've got a Torin, next time when you put in juice, what I normally do is say I add juice. Let's quickly fill this guy up. Let's do it. Fill it up. Nice times. And then when you put on your cap, you just put on your cap so it just catches on your threading, so you can actually just feel it's there. And then turn it upside down. Let all your juice run down there, and then you tighten it, and then you turn it, and then you vape. It minimizes the spit back. It actually saturates very nicely. Nom nom. I tell you. Do you post any of your recipes No, no, I only post my recipes for my patrons. That's all. I did post 3 recipes on some other site. I can't even remember where. But yeah, but there's just so many, thousands of recipes. You don't know where to start. And then you just give up and say, there's just too many recipes. Then you leave the website. So yeah, I do post it for my patrons. Chucky wants two Chucky wants 2 Oryx RDAs. You never know if it comes into being, for sure. How much would you say you spend on your do-it-self e-juice a month? Well, I'm at the specific point where I have got, can I say, basically 10 recipes which I vape. So now I only have to buy those specific concentrates. But in the beginning, as I said, these drawers which you see on my right-hand side, and this guy here, they full of little juice bottles. You can see if I take this guy out, you can see it's full of juice bottles, all of them. And that's the problem, because you want to test everything, and then you buy a lot of unnecessary crap. So currently, I mean, this month I haven't spent anything on do-it-yourself because I've still got more than enough, can I say, stock. Because you start buying the larger bottles, and then, as I said, and then it lasts you a much longer time. But that only helps when you know exactly what recipes you like and what flavorings you buy, and then it starts working out very cheap, for sure. How much do I need to go out with my family now? Thanks a lot for the no, Rodrigo. It's you're more than welcome. I think we need to do this more often, though. It's actually very nice. What's your opinion about pod systems taking out the vaping scene? Redux, I can understand why pod systems are taking over. It's just sad for reviewers like us, because I know if you want to watch a review, you don't necessarily want to watch it on pod systems. But if I look at my latest videos, my last videos which I did, the videos on the pod systems by far get the most views, by far. And that just tells you one thing, and that is that most vapors out there, they enjoy the pod systems because they don't know these things. They've got no idea, and they're too scared to go into this because they say articles about this guy's thing exploding in his pocket and that guy there, his eyes fell out, all that kind of nonsense. So for them, it's very easy and convenient getting one of these small things which they can just hide, pull out, suck on, and then just put back again. So yeah, unfortunately, as I said, pod systems are going to become too saturated. The design ideas are going to run out because about the amount which is actually being put out. So I think it's going to come to an end soon, and then they will start going back to something else now. So yeah. Okay, will you be getting the new blotter? Yeah, I said earlier though, if I can find a vendor which will actually sell it to me, I will get the blotter RTA. I'm very interested in actually reviewing it because of the comparison with the deck of this guy, just to find out whether it's actually an improvement, whether it's similar, or what's the story. So yeah, I would like to get the blotter, definitely. So any case, guys, I don't want to keep you up though. I see the questions are also drying out. So yeah, would you like me to do this again sometime where you guys can actually just come in and shoot some questions and me answer them and show you what I've got and what not? We can do that. I've got no idea. No, my son doesn't vape though. He's more brighter than what I am. I'm only vaping because I smoked. So he obviously is not interested in smoking. So no, he doesn't vape. He occasionally tests my stuff because I force him to. So I make a juice with 0 nicotine in, and I said, try this coffee cake or try this watermelon pie or whatever I'm making. And then he gives me his opinion. The only problem is he always says he likes it. And I know he's lying some of the times. But yeah. Citadel better than the Hadley? No. No, the Citadel is not better than the Hadley. The Hadley. So now, Citadel is not a lot worse than the Hadley, but I still prefer the airflow on the Hadley more than I was actually due to the Citadel. But they're both very good RDAs, for sure. Thanks, Craig. It's actually nice to do something where you guys can actually participate in, be part of. That's cool beans, I tell you. Did you start off first vaping with Twist products? No, not at all. I've never owned a Twist product. Never. I started on one of these thin little pens, very crappy pen, and then I moved over to the Evic. What's the VTC Mini? Evic Mini, something like that. Got no idea. Can't even remember. And then I went into these things, but no, never on those things. So guys, thanks a lot for actually joining. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to have people to actually chat to on the other side. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening then, and hope to see you guys soon again. Cheers, have a good night.